What's the deal, my people? You know this is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is Game of Thrones Season 7, The Power Hour. And what this is, the Power Hour, is every day, 12 o'clock, I will be up here for 1 hour, and we will discuss whatever happened in Game of Thrones, whether it's one scene or one character, but it's only going to be for an hour. It's going to be every day, every weekday, 12 o'clock. And as always, I'm going to be joined by my co-host, the King of the North, my main man, Mo Genie.
What's going on, folks? It's Moji, the King of the North. It's Mo Genie, baby. Loving it, man. What's going on, Teflon?
No doubt we are. I'm hyped up about what's going on. I'm hyped up about this season. It is almost here. We have finally almost made it to this season, to the beginning of this season. It's been taking a while to get here. It sure has taken a while to get here. But I am happy that it's almost here. And I'm telling you, it's going to fly by. These seasons, they go by so fast. That's why I'm so anxious. It's like I want to get into it, but I don't want to get into it because I know once it does, it's just going to fly right by. So what up to all the people that are watching in the chat right now? What up to everyone who will be watching later on and stuff like that? And as soon as we get more established, I'm sure we will get more people watching it all the time. So Mo, what we are talking about today, without a doubt, is the episode titles that would drop. We're going to go through these episode titles. We're going to give our opinions, and then we're going to open it up for questions in the Q&A, in the chat for the people in the Q&A. And that's how we're going to run it. Every week we'll do that, and tomorrow we'll talk about Jon Snow. So right now we're talking about these episode titles. Mo Genie, what is the first episode title that there is?
First episode title. Oh, first off, did you tell everybody about Con of Thrones in the last video, in your last vid?
I think I talked about Con of Thrones in the last.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. All right. First episode title for July 16th, this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 61, Dragonstone.
Dragonstone. Pretty self-explanatory. Does it have a synopsis on that, or just a title?
It just had this particular article has the episode name, episode number, and the author's thoughts on Jon Snow at the end of last season, organizing the defense of the North, tries to even the odds, and Daenerys Targaryen goes home, which is obviously Dragonstone. So it's basically just like a little teaser on what the author thinks is the name of the episode.
Yeah, that's a synopsis. That's what it is. So we have seen Dragonstone. I guess we have seen a lot of clips already. We have seen that, without a doubt, that Dany's going back to Dragonstone. I'm hearing an echo. And now we have seen that it's going to happen right off the back in the first episode. Now I'm hearing an echo when I'm talking.
I don't have an echo.
All right, we good now. Yeah, so we seeing it's gonna jump off with her in the first episode. Now I don't know how long it's gonna take her to get there. I don't know if it's the first thing we're gonna see this for her, this to show right up, and she's going to be at Dragonstone, or she's gonna be at sea for a little bit. What do you think, Mo? You think she's gonna be at sea for a little while, or you think she's right when it jumps off, she's gonna show right up and set it off?
I think they're going straight to her being on Dragonstone. They're not going to show us any scenes of her being on the high seas, looking like a pirate. They're not going to have us showing us the Unsullied on the high seas. They're not going to show us Yara or Theon on the high seas, like jumping from boat to boat. It's going to be straight up sand. It's going to be, I can see the first montage of the season on Sunday being, y'all remember this and be like, Mo Genie called it if I get this. I can feel them showing literally Dany's feet touching sand. It'll just be her leather laces, them leather boots, them high tie boots she be wearing, and then her toes of the boot touching the sand. You know what I mean? That's just how I see it, like a movie, man. And then them going straight to Danny's face and her facial expression behind her with the Dragonstone water behind her. And then she looks up. I'm trying to give y'all a mental picture here. She looks up and looks up at Dragonstone. And then the birds, you'll see like birds flocking in the background, going into the sunset with her looking at Dragonstone with the sunset. That's how it's going to look, man.
This is a fucking exquisite thing you got in your head right there, man.
Yes. Can you see that image? Can you see the image of her touching sand and then her looking up at Dragonstone with the camera pan behind her?
We seen the one leak shot with her putting her hand in the sand and shit. So we definitely, but I think we have to see him a little bit on at sea. I would think we have to see him planning something at sea, a little something before they land. But it's quite possible they could just skip all that out and just have us straight off go at Dragonstone right off the bat, and just her ripping down banners of Stannis Baratheon and everything else, and just taking over the place and sitting down the throne. I think they got a lot to do. So I don't know if they really need to go into something else besides her just landing there. And what was the other thing say about Jon Snow? He has a conflict.
They say it says Dragonstone premieres July 16th and sees Jon Snow, Kit Harington organizing the defense of the North. So they're basically giving us a story, like a leak right now that Jon's gonna have to defend the North, and from what? Obviously, the Night's King, man.
Yeah, well, so we see Jon Snow here organizing the defense. As I said in my other video, you heard me. I think it's going to start off with that same scene that we seen with the King of the North. It's going to be a same type situation in there, and then we're going to have to deal with this. How they're going to deal with the families who were not loyal to the Stark. So what's Jon going to do with them? What are the other Northern Lords going to want to do with them? What's Sansa going to want to do with them? And how is Littlefinger going to try to manipulate this whole situation to his advantage by driving a bigger wedge in between them?
Absolutely, absolutely. That shit is so obvioso, man. That's so obvious what they're going to do. They gave us a tidbit of it last season, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like seeing what Littlefinger's trying to do, and it's going to get him killed. We both predict he will die this season, and it is what it is. He's dying, and the most likely scenario is Jon Snow putting a sword in the back of his head the way he did. Remember the way he killed, what's the dude's name from Gin Alley?
The fucking legend of Gin Alley.
Carl Tanner. He's gonna put a knife in the back of his head the way he did Carl Tanner, man, and like people are gonna be so grossed out, like, oh my god, did he really do that? Did he really kill Littlefinger like that? And it's gonna be like, yup, he did.
I don't know if they would let Littlefinger go out like that. They would have Jon Snow just take him out like that.
I mean, like, I feel like if Littlefinger's going to die, it'll be dramatic. I already predicted in one of my previous videos that it would be Sweet Robin. But, like, I'm trying to get away from obvious stuff. I'm trying to see scenarios where Sweet Robin will probably kill him in the books. But on the television show, I feel like Littlefinger's death is going to be more shocking than that, man. I feel like it's going to be Jon just saying, pow, and just backslapping the shit out of him and killing him for just trying to put a rift between him and Sansa.
You know, Jon is definitely the executioner, and he has killed a lot of people, but I just don't see him going out with Littlefinger. I think if Littlefinger has to go out, it's got to be at the hands of a woman, or Sansa or Arya, the way they're doing it, Brienne. I can't see it doing that, and I can't especially see it going out in the first episode at all. I think they're really just gonna have to deal with the whatever the House Bolton people left, the Umbers people that are there. They're gonna have to deal with these people, deal with how to settle this situation with them. Who gets to keep their lands? Who doesn't get to keep their lands? Who is going to get beat down for it? And I think that's the way this episode with that episode rounds
Oh,
roundabout
I definitely don't mean he's gonna get killed episode 1. I don't mean it like that. I just mean like, and definitely Sansa will be there. Will it be Sansa's hands that kill him? I don't know. I mean, wouldn't you see like John like doing the dirty deed for Sansa
I
and
don't
being
think
in the same room?
I mean, when you look at he's a boss, so I don't think the boss is going to be the hitman for Sansa. You know what I mean? That would be more of an Arya, Brienne type situation. You know what I mean? But Sansa may get a little Ned Stark and then say, you know, the person who passes the sentence must swing the sword, and she may stab him up herself. She may be the one to pull this one off.
Yeah. That sounds sweet. And back to the Northern Lords, absolutely. Like they got to give Tormund the Umber's castle or the Bolton's castle. House Giant's Bane is happening. I know you agree with that. I know you can sense that happening this season.
Something's gonna give. Now that I've seen all this Beyond the Wall footage with him, I don't know if he survives this season. It's really hard for me to see a lot of those guys that go beyond the wall with John to see who's gonna survive this season. But we talk about that tomorrow when we talk about Jon Snow. Right now, we're just dealing with these episode titles and what they could mean for that episode.
For sure. This episode is obviously going to be majority Dragonstone. This is probably going to be a very Dany-centric episode, guaranteed. I don't see us seeing like too many characters outside of Dany. They'll probably give us a little Sansa and Jon, sneak up in the north, and then it'll go right back to Dany. You think Varys will make an appearance at Dragonstone?
I don't know. As I said, it all depends how long it takes him to get to Dragonstone, how everything else is going down. You might see, this first episode could be a situation with Euron and Cersei could go right down. It could be because you figure there's going to be how many major battles this season? 3, 4 major battles. You're going to have the battle in water with Euron and them, the battle of Castle Rock. We're going to have that. We're going to have the battle at High Garden. That'll be 3. We're going to have the Field of Fire after that. I don't know how much of the Battle of High Garden actually going to show. If it's going to be a drawn-out battle, or this is going to show them just taking over. So I don't even know if we can consider that a true battle. So I'll just call that the Field of Fire for 3, and then the White Walkers at the end 4. So there's 4 major battles. I think you're going to get 1 in an episode. You're not going to get 2 in 1 episode. So it all depends about how all that stuff goes off.
Yeah. The major battles are always going to be end of season for sure. I'd like to see some things resolved episode 1. Last season we saw the Martell boats, the Greyjoy boats all going where they were going. Will Cersei and Jaime immediately know episode 1 where Dany's going? Will they have scouts? Will Qyburn have the little birds maneuvering and, giving him whispers?
I don't know. I don't know if those little birds get down like that.
You think Varys is going to get his birds back?
Not that they're going to get back. I just don't think that these little kids are going to know what's going on in the water. You know what I mean? They're just little kids. They're just little kid spies overhear stuff. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Yeah, I would love to know how Cersei is going to get the news that, somebody's going to run in like, Your Majesty, the false queen, Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen is at Dragonstone. What are you going to do, my lady? And then Cersei just like looking over like, kill her. You know what I mean? How's it going to play out when she finds out, bro?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I'm hearing the echo again in your microphone. Turn your volume down just a little bit, something when I'm talking or something. That's all. I think it's just coming through there. I just think that when it goes down, she's gonna have to. I think it's a response situation. Something bad's gonna happen to her, and then she's going to get more into it after that. You know what I mean? I don't think she's going to take the attack to him. I think maybe Castle Rock gets taken, and that's when she starts getting the mat painted down the floor when she feels that she has to kill them all and go after them, everything and else. I think it'd be a situation like that with Cersei. But that's good for that episode. Let's go into the next one. I think we have another one. We have 3 altogether, right?
Yeah, we got 3 altogether.
All right, let's do the number 2.
Next episode is episode 62, Staying True to Form, Staying True to Daenerys. The episode is titled Stormborn. Airs July 23rd. Daenerys receives an unexpected visitor. Jon faces a revolt, and Tyrion plans the conquest of Westeros. The episode was written by Brian Cogman and directed by Mark Malloy. Daenerys' unexpected visitor could be Jorah Mormont, who's currently exiled to find a cure for grayscale, since he can never stay away. That would, however, make him a bit of an unexpected visitor. As for Jon's revolt, our money's on the Lord of the Vale, who only helped Jon out at the behest of Littlefinger and haven't exactly shown enthusiasm for fighting alongside the wildlings. Give us your take, Teflon.
Well, I'm telling you, I got a little distracted in the chat here real quick because just someone's reporting that another trailer has just dropped. I don't know yet. That's what they're saying. So let's go through it. First off, it's called Stormborn. So that could mean a couple of different things. You know, obviously it turns to make you think of Daenerys. It's obviously her name, but we also know Euron Greyjoy is the Storm himself. So it's quite possible we could see that battle this episode. You could see the Greyjoy, Theon, and them get the shit kicked out of them. Now, it has to be away from Daenerys because it says Daenerys gets a visitor. I'm going to assume that that's Jon Snow. So the dragons have to stay back with Daenerys because there'd be no other way for the Greyjoy fleet to be defeated if they had the dragons with them. So possibly she can send them off to do their mission. Right then, send them off to do their mission, and then they get bagged up. But it also says that Tyrion plans a conquest of Westeros. So it could be Tyrion divvy them up, like, all right, you guys go, Unsullied, you guys go over here, attack Castle Rock. You guys, Greyjoys, you guys go over here, attack that, and they separate. Then the visitor comes after that, and then the Greyjoys get attacked by Euron and get defeated. Sounds like something like that could go down. What are you thinking?
The episode is titled Stormborn. Now, how many people that are still alive were born at Stormborn? Somebody in the chat just told me Gendry could be a possibility. You think there could be a flip the script with that title?
You know, the thing that makes me think something about Gendry, that he's going to do something, is that there's a thing that's saying next season that they're scouting out new castles, and the one castle they're looking for, they want one that has a round tower, a predominantly big round tower. So if they're looking for that, that means that must be Storm's End. So if that's could be the possibility there. But I think that Gendry has to be picked up by Tyrion. Tyrion has to go to King's Landing first and bring Gendry back. So I think this is mostly going to focus on Jon Snow meeting Daenerys, Jon Snow meeting the dragons, Jon Snow coming back in contact with Tyrion. The revolt is what's going to be the issue for Jon. Obviously, whatever he has to solve in number 1 is not going to be solved, and it's going to lead into number 2. He must not have to deal with it because he must leave and do this, so he must tell Sansa or someone to take care of this revolt or hold that down for him.
Yeah, this episode, 2 major synopsises. One being the revolt for Jon Snow. This would be a heavy part of the episode because episode 1 will be heavily dealing with Dany. So episode 2 could be a flip the script where they tell you it's the episode title Stormborn, but really the majority of the episode deals with Jon Snow dealing with the White Walker Night King crisis in the north. And it basically being The only way Jon Snow's gonna defeat the Night's King is with the dragons from the Stormborn Dany. Like a play tricks on you with the title, man.
Definitely playing tricks on you with the title. We want you always just to go straight up with Daenerys. But it could be a number of different things dealing with the storm and everything else. But I just don't know how Jon's going to leave the conflict in the north and then head over to Dragonstone when he's still, there's still something jumping off there. I wonder if he's going to go down and just and take care of this business in the north and then leave, or while the stuff is still going on, leave it to Sansa to handle or something like that.
Absolutely. And another thing with the title, the storm, Stormborn, the storm is coming, the eye of the storm, and then they show you the Night's King, and they might show us that episode trailer scene where we saw him looking up at the Raven, and they introduced Bran in this episode where they showed the Night's King looking up at Bran as the Raven, warging. Can you see them introducing Bran that early in the season?
I could see him getting to the wall that early in the season. I can't see him going to a lot of different powers, but definitely getting to the wall, definitely doing a couple of things. But, the whole Bran situation, he has to come through that wall. I think he has to come through it quick because the scene that we do see him down in Winterfell, I think he's there. Jon Snow's already gone. I think Jon Snow may go right from Dragonstone right to the wall. I don't think he's going to go back to Winterfell. I think he goes from Dragonstone, from this episode to Dragonstone. When he gets his troops and when he leaves Dragonstone, he's sailing right to the wall to do the mission beyond the wall.
Yeah, for sure. This episode, I feel like, is going to lead us into a lot of things. And episode 2 is a lot more important, sometimes in the grand scheme of things than episode 1. When you look at the overall big picture, episode 1 is getting you acclimated with, you haven't watched this show in over a year. This season, it might be a year and 2 months. Usually it used to be a year apart. Now it's a little bit longer. So a lot of people are going to forget a lot of things from last season. Not the diehards. The diehards won't forget anything, but your casual HBO Game of Thrones viewer is going to forget a lot of things. So Dan and Dave have to acclimate them with remembering everything that happened after the Battle of the Bastards.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of times I don't even like the first episode because they always do a lot of recatching up, and I already know all that stuff. But it's so funny, like when you watch Game of Thrones, at least when I do, I remember it seems like certain things happened so long ago, and they only happened like last season. You know what I mean? Like it seems like to me, like the Battle of the Bastards, I feel like I watched that 3 seasons ago. I feel like I seen Melisandre become the old lady. I feel like I seen that 10 years ago. Like it's always been like that. And this is stuff that just happened. The Hodor situation is another thing that seems like it's very old to me, but it's not old at all. It just happened last year. So I guess people do need to catch up on that situation. I guess we definitely have a new situation jumping off with a trailer that just dropped and stuff during that. So obviously, we're going to definitely break that down tomorrow on the Power Hour. We'll just do the trailer on that, or maybe come back tonight and do something with the trailer.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it for people that don't want to be spoiled. We're not going to talk about it today. So if you got to go handle that and go watch it real quick, do your thing, and then come back to the chat because we're not spoiling it for nobody.
Yeah, it's just a trailer anyway, so I'm sure it's not going to be too much and everything else like that. Small Council, I do believe, is for tomorrow. I think we're jumping that off tomorrow, so that won't be today. Move that back today. I think Aziz has something planned for tonight. As YouTubers that are cool with each other, that are friends with other YouTubers, we don't step on each other's toes. And when someone has a time slot set up, we don't go on that same time slot. It's not that important for us reviews. If someone else has a show, I don't do that show. You know what I mean? I don't take their stuff. I do my own thing, and that's the way it is. And that's the way my friends in this community are. So we have moved our thing in the Small Councils being moved to tomorrow. So we're going to jump that off tomorrow. 8 o'clock, I do believe, James of Thrones channel. You can definitely check that out. Let's go into the last one, Mo. That Power Hour is almost coming to an end. Hours fly by.
hour's almost coming to an end, but don't worry. You're going to get a double dose of us, man. Every Sunday. I got to plug this. Every freaking Sunday before the episode, we will be here live for an hour or more doing the pregame show.
Pre-game show starts at 6 o'clock. It's always going to be 6 o'clock to 8:30, 2.5 hours. Different guests, different YouTube channels. Come through. Check it out. Check it out without a doubt.
Absolutely, man. That pregame show is just going to be monumental this season.
And then we're going to have the Power Hour every day at 12. We're going to have talk about an hour after the episode throughout the whole week. So we'll have this Power Hour jumping off where you guys can get in all your questions all week long. As I said before, we're going to talk about a specific person or a specific scene. And that's going to be the focus for that hour. That one little topic. I'm going to go through the whole week like that. So it should be fun. And you should definitely come check that out. So the last episode that we got.
Okay. Last episode title is episode 63, The Queen's Justice. Hit screens on July 30th. Daenerys holds court. Cersei returns a gift. And Jaime learns from his mistakes. Wow. That is powerful.
So Cersei's gift that she returns has to be some type of death type situation. It's got to be the Sand Snakes and to dealing with them because they gave her that gift with Marcellus's necklace in it in the snake's mouth. So it's got to be something dealing with that. So we have to figure that battle of fire, as I said, it has to happen before that jumps off. So probably episode 2, they get taken captured by Euron. That's the gift I think she's going to return. And I think that Jaime is going to figure out at this particular time that she's going to marry Euron, and that's what's going to get him all upset and all heated about it because she's going to go through with this marriage and he probably didn't want her to do it.
Yeah, Cersei's gift, I have no idea what that could be. I mean, Cersei's gift, that's crazy, man. If it's a death, that could be something special. I think it's gonna be something along the lines of sending Jaime to go do a job, sending Jaime to go, ask for allegiance from some lords. You know what I mean? How many people are still allegiance to King's Landing?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good one. It's a really good one.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they're on their last legs. You got to remember, they killed the Tyrells, openly. You know what I mean? Like, killed them. And
but I mean, I don't know how open it is because I know people keep saying this, and I'm going to say this again. They showed you the distance between where Cersei was and where the Septa Baelor was for a reason. They show you that massive space in between, saying that she has nothing to do with it. Anyone who would suspect that she had anything to do with it is dead. So I can't see her getting blamed for that whatsoever. It's just going to be looked on as a tragedy.
Exactly. The rest of the synopsis, Dany holds court. So she's going to be holding court at Dragonstone. Is she going to be sending ravens out to say, pay homage, come to me? Is she going to be sending letters out to the Southern Lords or whatever lords, were allegiance to Stannis? Is Stannis going to come into play from this episode?
I think that Daenerys is going to send out everything that she could send out, as Stannis did before, as we've seen, him do with his letters. I think the same situation will go on. We've seen Aegon the Conqueror did the same thing. She'll send out her banners to all the people in the world that, in Westeros, that Daenerys Stormborn has returned. I'm your queen, and if you have the band and knee, you'll get to keep your stuff, and if you don't, I'm just going to burn you all down. I think she'll send out all that situation, and I think that the fact that she's going to be defeated so early, Yara and them are going to be defeated, is she going to have a major victory before this? Is she going to get Castle Rock an episode before or something like that? Because I just can't see Cersei winning the first battle of them all. I would think that Daenerys has to show up and win that battle then maybe Cersei win the second one. But Cersei just to come right off and Euron just to take off their ships right off the back and win that easily, that doesn't seem like possible that it will go down like that.
Yeah. Then the last bit of this episode is Jaime learns from his mistakes. Now that means they're going to immediately introduce the sand snake situation, how Jaime got Marcella killed, or however you want to look at that situation. We're going to see everything that has to do with Jaime's recent mistakes. What else could that be other than Marcella's death, Teflon?
I don't even know what mistakes, when you look at it, like Jaime's mistakes. What mistakes did he have? I don't know what mistake you could actually say that he's made on his own. I mean, the stupid thing to go save his daughter, that was a mistake. That was a stupid plan. That was just dumb. From the beginning, I don't know where he could distrusting Cersei. Is that the mistake he learns from? Don't know what it could be. But it's got to be something there. You know what I mean? He got his hand chopped off. That his own mistake for being arrogant. So I just don't know what it would be.
The major thing that Jaime was involved in last season was taking over River Run. He took over the castle. Blackfish got killed. Jaime let Brienne and Pod escape. Is he going to be regretting letting Brienne and Pod escape? Could that be a mistake? It's a possibility.
It could be looked on as a mistake, letting the Freys take over the castle and stuff. Maybe that is a mistake. Maybe I don't know. I think the only thing I could see that would be a mistake is trusting Cersei. Somehow he trusted Cersei. She's going to offer him something, then she's maybe flip the switch and then say she's going to marry Euron. We see that one scene of Cersei in her bedchamber. It could be Jaime coming out of the bedchamber with her. And then after she fucks him or something, she's like, all right, I'm going to go do my duty and marry Euron. Because, you know, if she's a queen, she's got to produce an heir. And she's not going to do it with Jaime. You know what I mean? And so she's got to get somebody else in there.
Man, this is where book Jaime and TV Jaime, they're going to have to show us a lot of meat this season, because book Jaime is like completely fucking away from what TV Jaime's doing right now. So I don't know, man. This would be great if they bring back Brienne and Jaime back into scenes together. That would be great, because I'm trying to figure out what his mistakes could be. Are the Sand Snakes gonna pay for Marcella's death?
They gotta die without a doubt. They gotta die. The Sand Snakes will die, and Arsha Greyjoy will die this year too. Yarsha, as I like to call her. That's a term I coined for her, Yarsha. Yarsha will die this year.
Couple of good things in the chat. Sir LT Giles, main man, says, is the Blackfish still alive? And a couple of people saying, is Bronn dead next season?
You know, I got into a thing. I said at the Crown of Thrones, I said that the Blackfish isn't that important, and the people started booing me there. It seems like the Blackfish is very popular. I still don't think the Blackfish is dead, just like Stannis is dead. Same way they killed him off screen, same thing with the Blackfish. He's dead. Yeah, it's nothing else for him to do. There's no Jane Westerling. There's no Will. There's no nothing like that for him to be involved in. So I don't see it, him being there. They still have Edmure, so if they're going to do anything, they would give it to Edmure like it was Edmure's castle anyway. Have Arya free him up and give the castle back to him. I think it would be a situation like that.
They wasted so many great characters and wasted them by killing them off screen. You know what I mean? Just killing the Blackfish off screen. You know, just come on, man. Give the man some dignity and give him a proper death if you're going to kill a top knight, the Blackfish, the way they did. You know, just pisses me off.
No doubt. We'll have more questions. We're going to go through the question segment, and then we're out of here after we take these questions. The Power Hour.
The Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen. First question up here we got from Graham Gates. Why didn't Varys tell Tywin that Arya was with the Hound in the fuck the king scene?
Wow.
So
That's I can't give you an answer why he didn't tell him. I mean, why didn't Varys tell Arya, tell Tywin?
why didn't Varys tell Tywin back when Tywin was still alive that Arya was with the Hound? Because obviously Varys would have found out that Arya was with the Hound during the war when they were running through the Riverlands.
When did Varys see Arya with the Hound?
I don't know. Some people think that Peter Baelish saw Arya with Tywin.
Peter Baelish would be the one, if he's the one anyone's going to recognize it when she was the cupbearer. That would be the one. But as for Varys, when did Varys have a chance to see Arya whatsoever? I don't think he had a chance ever to see her, let alone to see him with the Hound. So if anyone was going to see anything, I would say Peter Baelish, if he recognized her as the cupbearer. That would be the only one.
Yeah, for some reason, I mean, people believe that Varys would have known all. I don't think he would have known all, and he would have spilled the beans to Tyrion a while ago if he knew that Arya was still alive. So we'll I hope we answer that. Next question. Martin Lemon asks, will Bran become a White Walker this season?
I don't think that Bran will be a White Walker this season. I will say that the Bran, Stark, and the Night King do look an awful lot alike. If you really look at their pictures, without a doubt, there's definitely a uncanny resemblance there, without a doubt. But I don't think that he becomes a White Walker this season at all, not whatsoever.
No way, no how. Not gonna be a White. If anything, it's will he die or not? But he's not gonna be a White. Bran's got some major chapters to close on the show and in the books, so he's not going anywhere. He's the one magical being in the show who has the old gods magic, so he's not going anywhere just for that simple reason alone. They haven't introduced any other wargs in the show, and the only other wargs that were alive were in the north, were the wildlings, and they're all dead. So not going anywhere.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Bran's not this season. We'll get into Bran. We'll definitely get into Bran later on this week. He'll be one of the characters that we focus on before the show starts. Tomorrow we're gonna do Jon Snow, because I don't know about this trailer. I think it was a hoax. I think it was a hoax with this new trailer, Mo. They're pulling the fast one on us here.
They're pulling a fast one, but people are pulling the link up. Is it an official trailer? I don't know, but I mean, we'll speak on it. We'll speak on it. I don't want to waste our breath on it today. I don't like giving off the cuff remarks on trailers. I like to break my trailers down in videos.
I don't know if it's because it was a real trailer, I would have got a hit from Renee. I would have heard my phone go off because she on that stuff like that. And the fact that I ain't getting nothing on her, then I gotta believe that ain't no new trailer.
Another question here from Lauren Ponce. Shout out to Lauren. Sophie Turner was quoted as saying that she cried reading the season 7 script because of the tragic end of a character. Who do you think that character is? And before I speak on this, me and Teflon are both having videos where we discuss who we think are dying this season and how they will die. So we'll go into more in depth in those videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't seen that video I did before on some certain people dying. But Sophie Turner, I've got to say, she could be crying because I don't want to say the obvious, which is Arya. I think she could be crying if, let's say, a Brienne died, because Brienne was kind of close to her and, was her bodyguard kind of deal. And she was so loyal to her mother. So I think it could be Brienne.
Yeah, I think Brienne's a good choice too. I think that there's a really good chance that that Brienne could be the one who passes away that would make her cry. Obviously, Arya would make her cry also. I can't see anybody else in there. You know what I mean? No one else.
I've said it numerous times these last couple months doing videos with you that I think Brienne is dying, and it just seems like the end of the road is coming up for certain second rate characters on the show.
Yeah, if anyone's going to be, those would be the only ones I could see her getting that upset with, that has passed away. It's crazy because even though she hasn't even worked a lot with Macy Williams, but I'm still sure that they're close, they're girls and stuff like that, But yeah, I would say Brienne. I don't think she would cry over Littlefinger at all. So, or the actor who plays Littlefinger, I don't know how close she could actually be to him. I'm sure she's somewhat close to him, but still, there's a big, humongous age gap there. So it would have to be someone that she could really relate to, you know what I mean? Someone closer in her age that she gets to hang around. So it would have to be a girl, I would think. So it's either Brienne or Arya.
For sure. Next question is by influence by design. Do you guys think Sansa will turn rogue, even killing one of her siblings like Arya?
I don't think that she'll get to that point where she's going to kill someone, but I do think that for power, that to feel safe again, to never feel like she felt before, she may do a couple of despicable things. What say you?
Yeah, no, not gonna happen. If Arya dies this season, which a lot of people surprisingly think is gonna happen, a lot of people think Arya is dying this season. I don't think she is, but I've seen so many, comments and Twitter comments on this. Sansa won't do anything nasty like that. If Sansa kills anybody, it'll be either Littlefinger or Sweet Robin.
No doubt. Let me say this. No one in this chat or anyone believes that Lauren is trolling anyone about that thing. Not at all. I don't think that. So please don't ever say that about her. She's one of my greatest supporters, and she's a mad cool chick. So check out her channel if you get the chance to. But no, we do not look at her like that. Even if she just made a mistake or seen something else like that, she did not do it in a trolling effort whatsoever.
No way. I don't know how that could be considered trolling when if you looked up at something on Twitter and it looked like what you thought and you want to help people see something. She's just trying to help people see a video. How's that trolling? I don't get that.
It could have just been the grease video that they did. That trailer could just been someone got a hold of it. I did a video on that grease trailer like 2 days ago. So if that's what it is, but I don't know if they will release another trailer with a week to go. I don't know if they would do that right there. I think that they got their stuff out there. I think they're ready to roll right now.
They're ready to roll. I mean, the season's here. Well, what do they need to drop another teaser trailer for? It's Sunday. We're right on the doorstep. You know what I mean? It's Dunzo. Rapunzel.
I can't wait. I can't believe it's really here. Right? We waited for a long time. We waited an extra long time right now. So this season better give me everything I want in this goddamn season. Goddamn, they better not fucking change me with this motherfucker. Goddamn. I want to see this shit.
Absolutely. We're right on the doorstep. It was like 6 months ago when I was like, oh my God, is the season going to start in May? And then they pushed it back to June. And then they pushed it back again to July. And you're like, oh my God, when are they going to start?
Exactly. It's right now. You have given everyone blues balls for the last time, Game of Thrones. It is time to show and prove. It is time this season, extra long episodes. There's no excuses that they have, really. None for any episode not to be a fucking 9.5. I don't want to see anything under a 9.5. I don't want to hear it. They don't have to set anything up. They don't have to build anything out. They don't got to flesh no fucking stories out. All they got to do is show me the fucking money. And that's all I expect to see. Everyone I expect to see every episode fucking fire. Period. Everything. I expect to be talking about every episode, every line from every episode throughout this whole fucking season.
All they have to do is keep giving us punchline after punchline after punchline, like in a rap battle, like in a freestyle battle, like you watch an 8 Mile with Eminem, just him versus Papadopoulos. Papa Doc. Y'all remember Papa Doc? You know what I mean? Just give us punchline. We don't need filler. We don't need any of that. There shouldn't be one filler episode this season. Not one.
No doubt about it. That's the way it's got to fucking roll. We're going to take one more question, and then we offer this for the Power Hour. This hour, we up, and we be back tomorrow, though. Same time, 12 o'clock, and we'll be talking all things Jon Snow and taking questions about Jon Snow.
We will be here every day at is it 12 p.m.?
12 p.m. Eastern time.
12 p.m. Eastern time every day this week until Sunday when the episode is. And even then on Sunday, we're going to have the pre-game show at 6 o'clock. You better be there.
No doubt about it. So even if you missed it or you didn't get here early enough, remember tomorrow, 12 o'clock next day, 12 o'clock next day, 12 o'clock. We're going through the whole season like this. So we're gonna keep it running, you know what I mean? That's the bottom line. So, you know, we definitely gonna have a bunch of people on the pregame show. We're gonna have all your favorite YouTubers on there, you know what I mean? Also, there's going to be another announcement about another big thing coming up. I ain't gonna announce it. I'm waiting for everyone else to announce it. Then I'll talk about that. But you're gonna see this announcement. It's gonna be coming in a couple of days. Look for your popular YouTube channels, one of them to drop a promo on that so that you can understand what's going on there. That's going to be probably the most fun that you ever had on any stream ever in YouTube whatsoever. Straight up. What up to my man Fernando T? Thank you for the $10 donation, brother. You know I appreciate that. And the question goes, that's what I'm talking about, daily nice. Yes, sir, daily. We are doing this every day at 12 o'clock for an hour, the Power Hour, Game of Thrones Power Hour, predictions Q&A chat. We're going to be here getting it in with you.
Yeah, we got the last question of the day, ladies and gentlemen, on the Power Hour with Teflon and Mogini. Decipher asks, is Daenerys a Dane because of her name?
No. I mean, no. I'll say it again. No, she's not a Dane. Her last name is not Dane. So if you look at it like that, can her last name be Dane? No, not at all. She is who she is. She's a Targaryen. She's the only really true blood one left that's there. So that's who she is. To make her anything else, this takes away from the whole story. Doesn't make her any more special if she is a Dane. Doesn't do anything for her if she was to be a Dane. So I just don't see how it would work her being a Dane. The features that she would have would be the same exact features she would have. So even her physical characteristics would not change if she was a Dane. So it really doesn't make it do anything to push the story along. So I'm going to have to say no on the Dane situation.
I'm sorry, bro. This isn't one of those mysterious times where somebody's name, counterjacks and it makes sense with the mystery. No, Daenerys is a full-blooded Targaryen. We know her lineage. We know where she was born. The only mystery that's behind Daenerys is the Red Door. Where did she see that Red Door at? Was it in Braavos? Was it in Dorne? That's the only mystery that needs to be solved behind Daenerys.
I think it's been solved. I think it's definitely in Braavos. I don't really think it's anywhere else. I don't think she's been to Dorne at all. Not whatsoever. It makes no sense for her to be there. I know people want to say there's lemon tree there. They don't make lemons in Dorne. I would tell you what. I'll tell you straight up. They don't make Kobe beef in New York City, but I can get me some right now if I want it. You know why? Because if you got the money, you could have anything the fuck you want. Period. And that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a guy in the Sea Lord of Braavos wants a fucking lemon tree, trust me, the guy's going to get himself a goddamn lemon tree. It's not going to be that hard for him to do it either. So you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. Money talks and bullshit walks. So she's not dreaming of going through a red door and playing in the sand gardens or in the water gardens and doing it. Never happened. She just had the Sea Lord of Bravos guy have a damn lemon tree there, and no one else had a lemon tree in the place she was at. So that's what made that one stand out to her and made that one so special because no one else had.
This is a question that I really like, and I want to send this out to the chat. After this video is done, after you finish watching this video, tell us down in the comments below, where do you think the red door is? Is it in Bravos? Is it in Dorn? You let us know, guys. We want to know. Leave it in the chat. Tell us what you think.
No doubt. Let's see those thumbs up come up there a little bit, people. You know, we got more watches than thumbs up. It should be at least, I would say, at least maybe 10 away, if anything. So let's get those thumbs up there, people. You know what I mean? Help a brother out. Help brothers out. You know what I mean? And definitely watch us back here tomorrow for the Power Hour, where we'll be talking about Jon Snow, what our predictions are for Jon Snow this upcoming season, and taking your questions from the chat and answering those about Jon Snow. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern time, be here for the Power Hour. And I like to say, before we go, I will rep the hood in our next video. I'll make sure we save some time to do that. So let me give quick shout outs to the people that are in the chat that I see. The one true David Adams, Jasmine B, Boney Music, Extra Crispy, Lauren Ponce, Carrie News, Renee M, Anthony Downing, Daryl. I was gonna mess up his last name, so I just said Dow twice. By Cypher, Michael Smith, Kevin Cleary, the Lord of Last Heart, Don the Kraken with Dish Murphy, Sir Ryan Vine, all you people out here, Pooh Bear with me, Extra Crispy. I think I said that before, but I done said it again, god damn it. The Lord of the Last Heart, Steph, Lauren's Corner, all y'all out there. Thank you for stopping by and joining the Power Hour. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Again, 12 o'clock Eastern time. Get your questions ready. If you like the way we do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, which will be tomorrow, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.
Mm-hmm.